Tiger Woods start the PGA.
There you go.
Hoping he's going for 3 in a row at the U.S. Open on Fox, people.
We'll talk to the Lakers coaching hire talk about them with Chris Broussard in just a second. But first, Nuggets Blazers, watch this. C.J. McCollum chasing down Jamal Murray, blocking the shot off the backboard.
How about C.J., Chris?
C.J. is in line. Hopefully he makes an all-star team, but he could go down as one of the best players ever not to make.
Oh, don't do that to him. He gonna make an
I hope he
all-star
makes
team.
it. Just West got some guards, man.
Raptors,
one of them.
6
Called
years.
Nick
great.
after the game.
I didn't say he called. I said I told
Yeah, they talked. They communicated.
Yeah,
He's tremendous.
Kawhi picking off Joel Embiid's pocket, hits the Euro step before throwing down the two-handed jam.
This reminded me of the steal Jordan made against Utah with Malone, where he comes around, takes it from him.
the play before.
I've been
the
seeing
shot.
a lot of comparisons of Jordan to Kawhi.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going there, but have you seen it? Some people have been doing that.
Stylistically.
Here's why.
Andy Perkins mentioned it, and stylistically, they have some.
Well,
similarities.
Jordan was so, with all due respect to Kawhi, Jordan was a lot more graceful. You know, his.
Yeah, a lot better athlete.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the last shot of the game to win it, to help the Raptors advance
That
to the
bounce
Eastern
was
Conference
incredible.
Finals.
That's one of the biggest bounces in NBA history for sure.
Yes.
3
mean,
weeks
when
ago,
do you
Broussard,
ever see that?
We'd only seen 5 of shots like this ever, and we've seen 2 in the last 3 weeks.
How many in a Game 7, Nick?
Oh, first one ever in a Game 7, Jenna Wolf.
All right, on to the Lakers now, who hired Frank Vogel to be their new head coach. It's a 3-year deal. Vogel previously coached in Orlando and Indiana, where he battled LeBron in the conference finals multiple times. He'll be joined by former head coach Jason Kidd, who will reportedly have a prominent assistant coach role. Broussard, what do you make of the hire?
Well, when I first saw it, I was stunned because of all the names.
So was Vogel.
Mike Woodson, Jason Kidd, Lionel Hollins. I would have had Vogel 4th on that list of guys that's going to get the job.
Which would have made him 7th on the total list.
Right.
And if we were running the race like the Kentucky Derby, that wasn't a premier race. All the stallions had turned it down.
Now, let me say this. I also think it would have made more sense to have Jason Kidd as the head coach and Vogel, who's a tactician, as the assistant. However, I made some calls, talked to some people, and I'm told this. Look, this is the key we know for any Lakers job, that LeBron James respects Frank Vogel. He remembers those battles that they had when Vogel was in Indiana. 3 straight times in the playoffs, LeBron's in Miami. And those series go 6 games, 2 of them, and 1 of them went 7. LeBron recognizes, I had me, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. And Frank Vogel had Paul George, Roy Hibbert, and George Hill, and David West. Not nearly as much talent. So I'm told LeBron respects Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel has a chance with LeBron. He's going to give him a chance. If Vogel goes in there and is prepared and shows that he's got all his T's crossed and I's dotted, then that's how guys who didn't play in the league get players' respect.
Yes.
Jeff Van Gundy, Stan Van Gundy,
that is
all
true.
these guys, Brad Stevens, they show you, yeah, I didn't play, but we got everything covered. Every little thing you need to know to be a better player and team, we got covered. So I'm told LeBron, and look, LeBron's not making the decisions, but they're keeping him abreast of everything.
But
everything.
So tell me if you are hearing different, but I'd be shocked if you are. I'm told, though, that LeBron and Rich Paul and Clutch have been totally hands-off on this. That they were not giving, they didn't present a list of names. They weren't, when they heard Ty Lue was in the running, they didn't try to tip the scales in his favor. That they stayed totally out of this. Now, he's obviously going to have to be very hands-on the free agency part.
Right.
I think you already saw he is by meeting with Kawhi last week.
But I'm told he didn't go to Philly. Are you told he went to Philly?
No, we were just responding to the report that they met.
Yeah, there was a report that they went to Philly. LeBron went to Philly to meet with Kawhi. It was false. He didn't go to Philly. He'll meet with Kawhi, obviously, but you get it. It wasn't. You think about it. It's not even a good look to go meet with a guy while he's still in the midst of a playoff series. But your point is, he will be recruiting
but LeBron
guys,
has stayed out of the coaching situation. And if you're a Laker fan, with respect to everything you're saying about Vogel, you got to kind of wish he didn't.
Well, here's what you're right that LeBron, they didn't present a list. They stayed out of it. But Rob Pelinka, they were running things by LeBron, not for his him to say, yeah,
not
you can
for
do
his
this,
consent, but
right,
to keep him abreast.
But to keep him abreast and to hear his opinion. Not that they were going to go with his opinion necessarily,
yes,
but he was kept abreast like most top players.
Yeah, and both of you can be right. I believe that LeBron from the beginning, because David Griffin, who's general manager now with the Pelicans, he expressed this a lot this year on NBA TV, how LeBron hates this. He hates how people just assume he's picking the players, he's involved with the coaches and everything. But to your point, yes, when they had the first interview with Vogel, like after Ty turns it down, they had to go. LeBron said, this is the plan. We're going to interview this guy. After that interview, they went back to him before they start negotiating a contract. So LeBron could state that. Yes, I do have respect for the X's and O's. That time in Indiana had a really impact on LeBron, because LeBron also fell in love with Paul George. That's why he tried to get the Cavs to build trade for him. Also last year, who did the Cavs try to add to their roster late in the season? George Hill, who was also part of that. So I could understand, and both of you could definitely be right.
But to me, this hire is about two things: power and optics. Well, let's start with the optics. Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka were sold on Ty Lue. And the Rambis family convinced them the optics will be LeBron's running things, hold off, and make demands, make Ty Lue to make concessions because he doesn't have any other options. They maybe didn't factor into the fact that one of the options is do nothing and make $5 million this year from the Cleveland Cavs and next year from the Cleveland Cavs, and Ty walked away. They liked Jason Kidd, and they were horrified by the reaction publicly that they were considering Jason Kidd. So horrified, I believe they floated out there, oh, it wasn't even a real interview. It was a cursory, it was a courtesy interview. And then when I say power, Rob Pelinka has, in a very short period of time, consolidated an immense amount of power. Magic is gone. Clearly, the two people that Jeannie Buss listens to the most are Linda Rambis and Rob Pelinka. And Pelinka got a coach who was willing to take 3 years, and I pick your staff, and I'm putting Jason Kidd on your staff, even though he doesn't have the greatest reputation for not going behind people's backs, and he interviewed for this job. So that, because the basketball reasoning for hiring Frank Vogel, here's the thing. What he did in Indiana was impressive. What he did in Orlando happened, though. That was a 35-win team he took over. They then won 29 and 25 games with him. They then, the next year, this year, with the exact same roster, won 42 games and made the playoffs. That's really problematic for Frank Vogel.
That could be similar to Mike D'Antoni. And I'm not singing Vogel's praises, but D'Antoni failed in certain places too. New York, LA, obviously.
This is the difference, though. Mike D'Antoni, you know the system, his offensive system is successful. Now, he's not into the detail. You can't guarantee me, because there are people in the NBA that Vogel, as far as being a defensive strategy guy, people will say, well, that was his staff. That was Nate McMillan. That was other people on that staff that he's getting credit for. At least D'Antoni, he's got something that he can put his hat on. That offense that he runs, it is special, and it's effective, been effective in a couple different eras also.
Wait, just quickly, does it really matter if you land another big-time free agent, who the coach is? How much is that a factor? If you get a guy like Kawhi there or something.
You know, but if they get Kawhi, Vogel will be fine. And then if he's not, Kidd will be fine, you know, if he moves up. But yeah, if they get a big time free, their thing is they need to shore up the front office and show that they're not flying by the seat of their pants.
Yeah, this is what I can tell you about the free agents. Ain't nobody going there because of Frank. Okay? Now, they're going there because the Lakers and LeBron. If you had Ty Lue there are some players out there being like, you know something, I can play for him. Monty Williams, with his reputation, his relationship with Anthony Davis, there's guys that say, you know something, LeBron's there, but Monty Williams, I trust him with my career. I think that we lost that.
Even Jawan, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's not a draw.
Bizarro world, the way they're doing everything. Chris, we'll see you a little bit later in the show. Coming up, did James Harden choke by coming up short against Golden State again? That is ahead on First Things First.
Brain trust of the Ramby.